we were pretty safe because we had reliable air defense. But this time, our military people, they explained that it was Russian cruise missile X101, and it flew at very low altitude, and it was very difficult to intercept.
A wave of Russian airstrikes in Ukraine has left 36 people dead and 100 injured. A children's hospital in Kyiv, the largest in the country, was caught up in the missiles and suffered extensive destruction. Russia has denied targeting civilian infrastructure and said the strikes were aimed at military bases. I spoke a little earlier to Oleksandr Merezhko, a Ukrainian MP and chair of the Foreign Policy Committee, who told me of the shock felt by many Ukrainian civilians.
It's a huge tragedy, and to some extent is unexpected. We didn't expect anything like that to happen today, because the day started in a normal way, and then I heard explosions, very loud explosions right next to the place where I live. It's like 10 minutes walk from the children's hospital, and I've been passing by this hospital many times. And when I found out that it happened right next to my house, I was shocked, like many people in Kyiv. And then we found out that we had this massive airstrike by Russia in different cities of Ukraine, and dozens of people were killed, and around 140 or even more have been injured.
Just to talk first of all about that attack on the children's hospital, there are some terrible pictures emerging which appear to show some of the patients and staff who've been hurt there. Tell us a bit more about what we're hearing about the scale of that attack.
Well, as far as I know, at present moment, we know that 2 people were killed, among them 30 years old doctor, specialist on nephrology, which is kidneys. And we thought that under the debris, under the rubble, can be more children in the basement, in the bomb shelters. So far, we don't have information that there are more casualties, but the death toll, unfortunately, might rise. And while I'm talking to you, you maybe hear from the window sirens going off. So it's already 3rd or 4th sirens and air raid during the day.
Well, if you need to go, Oleksandr, of course, we'll completely understand that. Are you okay to continue for now?
Yeah, I'm okay. Well, luckily, I live on the ground floor, and I'm relatively safe, comparatively, of course. Yeah.
Okay. You said these attacks were unexpected, and that is because there have been relatively few attacks on the capital, Kyiv, and of course the air defences have stopped many of the missiles.
Yes, there were days when we had, for example, 5 or more air raids, but we were pretty safe because we had reliable air defense. But this time, our military people, they explained that it was Russian cruise missile X101, and it flew at very low altitude, and it was very difficult to intercept. So Russians are very creative when it comes to killing people and when it comes to such attacks.
And there have been attacks right across other cities as well as Kyiv.
Yes, Dnipro, Kryvyi Rih, which is a motherland of our president. And if I'm not mistaken, 5 people were killed and more than 1 dozen were injured.
These attacks come just on the eve of the NATO summit, and indeed your President Zelensky is already on his way there. Do you think that they were timed with that gathering in mind?
I'm absolutely confident. I have no doubts about that, because I expected, honestly, I expected something because it's an anniversary of NATO, and Russia was supposed to come up with something cruel, something absolutely ruthless. And this has happened today. So I have no doubts. And unfortunately, we can expect more such cruel surprises from Russia in the nearest future.
And we know that President Zelensky is going to be asking NATO allies not just to continue their support for Ukraine, but to step up the supplies particularly of air defences. I mean, these attacks do really underline the need for that, don't they?
Yes, and I'm asking my counterparts, my colleagues, when I'm talking to them, even online, I want them to remember that when they provide us with air defense, with all kinds of weaponry, they save lots of people, thousands and thousands of Ukrainian lives, and especially children, women. And it's crucially important. Our president asked, for example, for several systems of Patriot systems to protect better Kharkiv, for instance, which is also under constant attack and it's been shelled on daily basis. Kherson, another city which is also in grave danger and is being bombarded. Hospitals in Kherson, including Children's Hospital, also has been bombarded several times. So we need air defense desperately.
Are you concerned that some NATO allies may be wavering in their support for Ukraine?
Of course, as you can see, it's about lives of our children. And when there are countries, or rather politicians, who are skeptical or who don't want to provide the necessary equipment, necessary weaponry, it puts in grave danger our people in Ukraine. And we have to pay very high price in terms of human lives. Of course, it's very. We have concerns about this.
We have a new Prime Minister here in the UK, Sir Keir Starmer. He has been stressing his absolute commitment to supporting Ukraine. And indeed, the new Defence Secretary has already been to Kyiv to demonstrate that support. Are you confident in the messages that you're hearing from Keir Starmer?
I'm confident about the UK, and we appreciate and value very highly bipartisan, so to speak, support of both Conservatives and Labour. And I have no doubts whatsoever about the fact that this support will continue, because the UK as a country is our reliable friend. We know that we can count on you in our difficult times, and I have no doubts that this support will continue.
Well, that was Oleksandr Merezhko, Ukrainian MP and chair of the Foreign Policy Committee, speaking to me from Kyiv just a little earlier. Nick's got in touch to say the bombing of the Kyiv hospital has rightly sparked global fury, as one headline in the papers put it. What saddens him is that the bombing of numerous Gaza hospitals has not led to the same coverage and global fury. Double standards, he questions. We certainly have been given a lot of coverage to Gaza and will continue to do so. But thanks for your thoughts there, Nick. And do keep your views coming into us all the usual ways here on Times Radio.